We look at our hair every single day. We style it, we wash it, sometimes we complain about it. But have you ever stopped to think about what it actually is? Because it's so much more than what we see. It's this incredibly complex part of our biology, a living record of our health, our habits, even our secrets. So let's get into it. What if it was? Because honestly, it is. Every single strand is like a tiny biological document, and it's logging information about what you eat, your stress levels, your environment, everything. Today, we're going to learn how to read that story, from its microscopic beginnings all the way to how it can help solve a crime. All right, so to really understand hair, we have to go deep. We've got to go beneath the skin to where it all starts. I want you to imagine that your skin is covered in millions of tiny, super advanced biological factories. And each one of these little factories is called a hair follicle. Okay, so what you're seeing right here, that's the factory floor. This whole intricate setup is the hair follicle, and it's anchored way down deep in the skin. See that part at the very bottom? That's the hair bulb. That's the main production hub. And the papilla right below it? That's the power source, the supply line that connects the entire operation to your bloodstream. So, and this is the really cool part, the follicle isn't just some simple little tube. No way. It's a fully self-contained production unit. It's basically a miniature organ, and its entire job is to create and take care of every single hair on your body. Now, that dermal papilla we mentioned, it is the absolute heart of the whole operation. If the follicle is the factory, then the papilla is its dedicated power plant and delivery service all in one. It's constantly pumping in all the raw materials, oxygen, nutrients, you name it, that the factory's cells need to work. You shut that down, and production grinds to a complete halt. So what is the amazing product rolling off this microscopic assembly line? Well, it's an incredibly strong and flexible protein called keratin. The hair shaft, the part we actually see and touch and style, is made up almost entirely of these tough, non-living keratin cells. But here's the thing. These little factories don't just run at full speed 24/7. Their work is actually super regulated. They operate in this constant repeating cycle of production, transition, and then rest. Let's break that down. Every single hair follicle you have goes through these same phases over and over again. You've got the anagen phase, which is the main growth period. Then you have catagen, which is a really short transition phase. And finally, telogen, the resting phase, which ends when the hair eventually sheds. Now check out this timeline, because this is where it gets kind of mind-blowing. That active growth phase, anagen, it can last anywhere from 2 to a whopping 7 years for a single hair. After that, you get a quick 2 to 3 week transition, and then a resting period of a few months before it falls out. That incredibly long anagen phase is literally what determines how long your hair can possibly grow. So you might be wondering, why don't I notice all this? It sounds pretty dramatic. Well, this chart explains it perfectly. At any given time, a huge majority, like 85 to 90% of your hair follicles, are busy in that active growth phase. Only a small percentage are resting or transitioning. That's why we lose a few hairs every day instead of all of them at once. Pretty clever system, right? Okay, so what's pulling the strings here? Who's the manager of this whole complex cycle? Well, it turns out the factory's output is constantly being tweaked by a whole bunch of factors, both inside and outside your body. Think of them like a board of directors, all with their own agendas. The CEO of the whole operation, that's your genetics. They set the basic rules for things like growth speed and texture. But then you have other powerful influences, like your hormones, what you eat, your stress levels, and even external stuff, like how often you use a flat iron. They all have a huge say in how healthy and productive those little follicles are. Hormones, in particular, are like powerful floor managers. Some hormones, called androgens, can actually tell the factory to shorten that anagen growth phase. That means hair falls out faster and doesn't grow as long, which is a big reason for some types of hair thinning. Meanwhile, your thyroid hormones are buzzing around making sure the factory has enough energy to run efficiently. And then there's stress. Chronic stress is a real problem for our hair factories. It floods your body with a hormone called cortisol, and cortisol can act like a panic button, prematurely shoving a massive number of follicles out of the growth phase and straight into the resting phase. We're talking up to 70% of them. This is a real condition, and it leads to very noticeable hair thinning. Okay, this deep dive into biology is super interesting, right? But it has real-world applications that are, well, a lot more intense than just picking the right shampoo. The very same process that creates our hair also turns it into an incredibly powerful tool for forensic investigators. So how on earth does that work? Well, think about it. Since your hair grows from inside your body, and it's built from materials delivered by your bloodstream, each strand becomes a historical timeline. It's a chemical and genetic diary of your life that, thanks to that tough keratin structure, can last for a very, very long time. Now, for an investigator, this is an absolutely crucial distinction. The hair shaft, that's the long, dead part, can trap chemicals from your system, like drugs or toxins. Analyzing it gives them a chemical history, but it's only class evidence. It can link a suspect to a general group, but not prove it was them. But the follicle, if it's still attached to the hair, that's the jackpot. It contains living cells, which means it has a full DNA profile. That's individual evidence, and it can point directly to one specific person.
And that really says it all, doesn't it? A hair shaft by itself is a good clue, but a hair with its follicle attached provides a unique genetic blueprint. It can place a specific person at a crime scene with an extremely high degree of scientific certainty, which makes it one of the most powerful kinds of evidence there is.
So there you have it. From a microscopic factory pumping out keratin to a dynamic life cycle managed by your health and hormones, all the way to a forensic record that can put a criminal behind bars, our hair is anything but ordinary. So the next time you look in the mirror, remember, you're looking at a living story. What do you think yours is saying about you?